Hello guys, welcome to my channel Lost Talk. Today we will discuss about a very important topic, current contemporary topic, that is the Places of Worship Special Provision Act 1991. We were basically talking about this important topic is in relation to the Gyan Vapi Varanasi mosque case, which is also dealt by the Supreme Court today. So in this particular act, we have to first of all understand that why this particular act was created in 1991. So the important main act, point of this particular objective of this act was, and this is an act to provide conversion of any place of worship and to provide for the maintenance of religious character of any place of worship as it existed on the 15th day of August 1947 and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. That means this act is basically created for maintenance of the religious character. If there is any religious character for any place of worship, you can't change that particular point, which is existed on 15th day of August 15th August 1947. What is the short title and what is the extent of this particular act? The act may be called the Places of Worship Special Provision Act of 1991. It extends to whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, which was prior the situation before the amendment of the this changes in the constitution regarding the article 370. The provisions of section 368 shall come into force at once, and the remaining provision of this act shall be deemed to have come into force on 11th day of July 1991. That means when the act was basically created, so these acts will come into at one time and the other things will come into 11 July 1991. So this act is of 1991. Now the few definitions were given in this particular act. The first which the definition defined the commencement of this act, means the commencement of this act on the 11th day of July 1991. So this is the first of all, they have clarified that this act will be valid from the date of from 11th day of July 1991. Second thing, they have said that conversion, that means how this particular point will be basically understand in grammatical variation includes alteration or change of whatever nature. That means if you are changing something from a particular religion place of worship to another, so this is basically they have explained the conversion. So they have also defined the place of worship. That means it means a temple, mosque, gurdwara, church, monastery, or any other place of public religious worship of any religious denomination or any section thereof by whatever name called. That means they have basically not created it exclusive nature, because it is created, they have defined place of worship in inclusive nature. That means you can add other religions also as a part. It is not limited to only the four religions like Hindu, Muslim, Christian, and the Sikhs. It is for other religions also if it is a place of worship. Bar of conversion of places, the section 3 basically discuss about bar of conversion of places of worship. No person shall convert any place of worship of any religious denomination or any section thereof into place of worship of different section of same religious denomination or of a different religious denomination of any section thereof. That means you can't change the places of, if it is a place of worship, you can't change its denomination to other religion or in the form of that their own religion, because if you take into consideration this, it is hereby declared that the all religious character of a place of worship existed on the 15th day of August 1947 shall continue to be same as existed on that day. That means before from the date of 15th August 1947, it will be the same, the place of worship, you can't change that. If on the commencement of this act any suit, appeal, or any other proceeding with respect of conversion of religious character of any place of worship existed on the 15th day of August 1947 is pending before any court, tribunal, or other authority, the same shall abate, and no suit, appeal, or other proceeding with respect to any other such matter shall lie on after such commencement in any court, tribunal, or other authority, provided that if any suit, appeal, or proceeding instituted or filed on the ground that conversion has taken place in the religious character of any such place after the 15th day of August 1947 is pending on the commencement of this act, such suit, appeal, or other proceedings shall be disposed of in accordance with the provision of this section. This particular section is very much important, subsection is very much important. It says that if some cases are pending, is pending before any court, tribunal, or other proceeding, the same shall abate, and no suit, appeal, or other proceeding with respect to any such matter shall lie on the commencement in any court. That means you can't file any cases if that conversion is occurred in before this 15th of 1947. but provided that if any suit, appeal or proceeding instituted or filed on the ground that conversion has taken place in religious, it is basically the form of religious character of any such place, after the 15th day, and that is particular is pending on the commencement of this act, that particular act will continue to be tried and as accordingly as per the law. Nothing contained in subsection 3, that means this add subsection 2 shall apply to any place of worship referred to in said subsection which is an ancient and historical monument or archaeological site or remains covered by the, that means these are exceptions of these places, by the ancient monuments, archaeological sites, remains act of 1948. Any suit or appeal other proceeding with respect to any other matter referred to in the subsection, that means whatever other appeal or suit or the proceeding shall be coming to under this. Finally decided, settled or disposed of by any court, tribunal or any other authority before the commencement of this act, any dispute with respect to any other such matter settled by parties among themselves before such commencement. That means if it already settled, decided, so it will also not come into any conversion of any such place effected before such commencement by acquiescence. That means if this particular point is any conversion is any conversion of any such place effected before such commencement by acquiring sentence, you acquire that particular place, so that will not come into under this. Any conversion of any such place effected before such commencement which is not liable to be challenged in any court, tribunal or other authority being barred by limitation under any law for the time being in force. That means if any conversion has occurred and in any such place before commencement of this particular act which is not liable to be challenged in any court, because if limitation act is there, so on that basis you can also not file. And this act, this particular section is very much important. Act, according to this section, act not to apply to Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid which was decided by court, Supreme Court. Nothing contained in this act shall apply to the place or place of worship commonly known as Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid situated in Ayodhya in the suit of Uttar Pradesh, to any suit, appeal or other proceeding relating to the said place or place of worship. That means it will not be applicable, this act will not be applicable to the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid case. Punishment for contravention of section 3, whoever contravenes the provision of section 3 shall be punishable with imprisonment of a term which may extend to 3 years and shall also be liable to fine. That means there will be fine also. Whoever attempts to commit any offence is punishable under this subsection. Or to cause such offence to be committed, in such attempt does any act towards the commission of offence shall be punishable with a punishment provided for the offence. That means if you are attempting, you will also be liable for same imprisonment of 3 years. Whoever abates or is a party to the criminal conspiracy to commit any offence punishable under subsection 1 shall, whether such offence be or not committed in consequence of such abatement in pursuance of such criminal conspiracy and notwithstanding anything contained in section 116 of Indian Penal Code, be punishable with punishment provided for the offence. That means if you are abating and even though that particular act has not occurred, even though you will be punished for that also. So this is basically the understanding of this particular section. Section 7, act to override other enactment. The provision of this act shall affect notwithstanding any inconsistent therewith contained in any other law for the time being in force or any instrument having effect by virtue of any law other than this act. That means the act to override other enactment. The provision of this act shall have effect notwithstanding anything inconsistent therewith contained in any other law. That means it will be not it will be applicable even though it contained in any other law for the time being in force and any instrument having effect by virtue of any law other than this effect. That means it should not be applicable where it is inconsistent with other acts. What did the Supreme Court say about the Places of Worship Act in Ayodhya judgment? The constitutional validity of 1991 Act was not under challenge, nor had it been examined before the Supreme Court bench that heard the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid title suit. Even so, the court, while disagreeing with the certain conclusion drawn by Allahabad High Court about the Act, made a specific observation in support. In providing a guarantee for the preservation of religious character of place of public of worship as they existed on 15 August 1947 and against the conversion of places of public worship, Parliament determined that independence from colonial rule furnishes a constitutional basis for healing the injustice by past, providing the confidence to every community that the places of worship will be preserved and their character will not be altered. That means you can't change the character of any place of worship because it is basically related to the religious character of that place. So this is particular the source of this particular article which is related to is Indian Express. The title of this article is explain what is the Place of Worship Act and what are the provisions related to this. So this is basically in a way we can say this particular act is still in the recent Gyan Wapi Varanasi case, it is still in question and court is deciding this particular point as accordingly. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you.